There are certain things in life that you didn't need to know, like the red and green gummy bears taste exactly the same, even though the label screams different fruit names. Or the apples you buy at the grocery store can be more than a year old. Nobody's day changes when they learn that. Yet some secrets do change lives, and the people who benefit the most keep them whisper quiet. Billionaires build entire empires on simple money laws that never appear in school books or social feeds, or rather, they don't make it appear. And in this video, I'm going to share with you the unfiltered list. There are 8 laws, and everyone can work for you no matter where you start. Use them, and one morning the numbers on your bank app will read very differently, in particular with the 6th rule. Let's start. Law 1. The utility law says money must serve a job beyond showing off. Picture 2 friends who each receive a $5,000 bonus. One buys the newest phone and a weekend trip. Fun ends Sunday night, and the phone begins its slow fade toward the next upgrade. The other buys a second-hand trailer and puts an ad on a neighborhood app. Weekend junk haul, $50 per load. 6 Saturdays later, the trailer has paid half its cost and created repeat customers. By the end of the year, it has earned 3 bonuses worth of profit. Billionaires run the second script with private jets and data centers, but the rule scales down just fine. Before you spend, ask how soon the purchase can feed you back. Law 2 is silent ownership. Wealth works best when no one notices. A billionaire in a faded sweatshirt can walk through any mall because the real gold sits in quiet percentages of businesses. I once met a man in line for coffee who owned slices of 3 rural cell tower companies. He earned 6 figures a month while paying less in lifestyle inflation than the influencer behind him ordering a $12 latte. You can start by owning index funds or dividend stocks instead of cars that announce status. As the stake grows, you avoid jealousy, robbery, and the urge to keep up with louder neighbours. Quiet money compounds because it is not drained by social theatre. Law 3 is the leverage law. One pair of hands can only lift so much, but capital and other people's time multiply without limit. Imagine a baker who bakes 40 loaves a day on one oven. With a $5,000 low-interest loan, she buys a second oven, doubles output, and after covering costs, clears an extra $700 a month. 3 years later, loan paid, she still owns the oven. Billionaires scale that idea into skyscrapers and satellite networks, funded mostly by banks and investors who accept a smaller cut. Your scale might be a pressure washer, an online course filmed once and sold forever, or rental tools bought with a credit line paid by weekend users. The principle never changes. Borrow low, earn high, keep the spread. Law 4 is velocity. Idle cash is like a parked taxi, potential income wasted every minute. Billionaires route money the way airlines route planes, minimizing time on the ground. Dividends land on Friday and by Monday buy more shares. Sale proceeds rest in short-term treasury bills at 5% until the next deal. Even emergency cash earns in a high-yield account. You can mimic this with automatic transfers. Your paycheck drops Wednesday, $40 automatically moves to a brokerage sweep that earns 4% until it buys an index ETF on the 1st of the month. Each tiny slice of interest seems small, but add every pay period for decades and you buy whole years of freedom. Law 5 is insulation. Big fortunes attract lawsuits and accidents, so billionaires build legal walls. A rental home sits in its own LLC, a software patent in another, trading accounts in a family trust. If a tenant slips on wet steps, the claim stops at the rental LLC, not the entire empire. You can do a starter version. Open a simple LLC online for side hustle income. Keep a separate bank account. Buy an umbrella liability policy that costs less than streaming subscriptions. One unexpected lawsuit cannot drag your personal savings into court if the assets live behind their own doors. Law 6 flips the common idea about debt. Debt that buys liabilities is poison. Debt that buys assets is fuel. A new SUV at 8% interest bleeds money the moment you drive away. A duplex financed at 5% that rents for double the mortgage feeds you every month. Billionaires borrow at rates often below inflation, invest at multiples, and let rising prices erode the real weight of the loan. Even on a small scale, you can use a credit union loan at 4% to buy certified tools that earn $20 an hour. Within months, the debt supports itself, and then some. The rule is simple. If the purchase cannot reasonably out-earn the payment plus a safety buffer, decline the loan. Law 7 is the information gap. Money flows to ears that listen where others ignore. A hedge fund founder hosts cheap dinners with logistics managers. One night they mention container demand spiking in a port nobody tracks. He buys shipping-related stocks while the market naps, doubles his capital, and sells before the headline hits mainstream news. You do not need inside access. Join your industry's trade forums, read niche newsletters, scan public earnings calls, talk to suppliers, watch government contract bids. When you notice a pattern early, a shortage of a part, a sudden zoning push, a new subsidy, you can invest before the crowd and ride the wave rather than paddling behind it. Law 8 is fail cheap. Billionaires treat failure like a laboratory. They run dozens of small trials, each sized to hurt pride, but not the treasury. Most flop, a few break even, and one pays for the rest many times over. Amazon's Prime, Apple's iPod, and Netflix streaming all began as experiments within a fixed risk budget. Apply that by allocating maybe 2% of income to controlled tests. Spend $30 on an online ad, $50 on print samples, or a single weekend exploring a new market. If it fails, you gained knowledge. If it clicks, you discovered a fresh income stream. Repeat until one sticks hard enough to scale. When these 8 laws operate together, the effect looks effortless. Utility directs every purchase toward productivity. Silent ownership keeps attention away and expenses low. Leverage multiplies small sums. Velocity keeps cash humming. Insulation guards the base. Smart debt accelerates growth. Early information lines you up ahead of the pack. Cheap failure trains your intuition without breaking your bankroll. None of these require a finance degree, just consistency and patience. Let us map a real example front to back. Maya, a teacher, saves $2,000 by tutoring online after school. Instead of buying a new phone, she studies used equipment auctions and leverages a $1,000 bank loan to purchase a laser engraving machine. That is utility and leverage. She registers Maya Custom Gifts LLC for $79 and keeps business income separate, practicing insulation. She lists products on a marketplace as a low-cost experiment, failed cheap at play. Orders arrive slowly but steadily, and every Friday revenue sweeps into a high-yield account until restocking day, obeying velocity. 6 months later, her niche ornaments go viral in a teacher's group. She reads supply chain bulletins and orders wood blanks early, exploiting the information gap before Christmas demand spikes. Profit pays the loan. She keeps her lifestyle quiet, silent ownership, while planning to finance a second machine with a small business line of credit priced below expected return, flipping debt into fuel. 1 year from her start date, the side business overtakes her salary, and she now teaches by choice, not necessity. Now imagine your own path. Perhaps you drive for rideshare on weekends and notice riders complain about the lack of pet transport. A short research rabbit hole shows rising demand for animal-friendly rides. You allocate a cheap failure budget to retrofit your hatchback with seat covers and pet harnesses. Vet clinics happily display your flyer. Bookings grow. You leverage a microloan to buy an additional vehicle and contract another driver. You insure the operation under an LLC. Keep earnings in a money market sweep until enough accumulates for a down payment on a small garage. Every step mirrors the 8 laws, just scaled down to normal life. None of this is theory. Pick one law right now. If your cash sits unemployed, open a 4% online account tonight and set an automatic sweep. If you carry expensive debt, list ways a new asset could out-earn a refi offer, then run the math tomorrow. If you lack insulation, start an LLC for your gig work over lunch break. Small actions stack. 1 year of tiny upgrades puts you in a different league than peers who still rely on one paycheck and a crowded checking account. Remember the unseen barcode in the grocery aisle. Most shoppers will pay the marked price forever because their eyes follow the bright sign. Billionaires, and soon you, look for the quiet line of code beside it. They scan, they save, they invest the difference, and the compound effect hides in plain sight. You now have the code. The next move is yours. Take one law, act on it before the weekends, and listen closely years from now when someone asks your secret. Smile and tell them about the night you discovered money's hidden rules and decided never again to pay full price for a future you could own instead. And if you've gotten this far in the video, I'm about to reveal rule number 9 that has allowed more people starting from zero to become rich. That is to subscribe to this channel for more practical advice. Like this video and comment with your idea and which money rule you like the most, even if I know it's number 9, and I'll see you soon.